How much time do you lose every single day just switching between tabs on your laptop? It sounds like a minor annoyance, but studies show that the average professional toggles between apps and windows nearly 1200 times a day. That constant context switching isn't just annoying, it's a cognitive drain that can cost you up to 40% of your productive time. We've all been there, trying to reference a spreadsheet while drafting an email or attempting to code while watching a tutorial, only to find yourself cramped on a 13-inch screen that feels smaller by the minute. You try to resize windows, you try to use virtual desktops, but the reality is you simply lack the digital real estate to work efficiently. In the office, you probably have a massive dual monitor setup that makes you feel like a pro, but the moment you head to a coffee shop, a library, or even just your kitchen table, your productivity takes a massive hit. You're back to that single screen struggle, squinting at tiny text and losing your train of thought every time you alt-tab. This is the daily problem. We live in a world where work happens everywhere, yet our primary tools haven't quite kept up with the need for a mobile, expansive workspace. Traditional desktop monitors are great, but they are heavy, require a dedicated power outlet, and are definitely not going in your backpack. You could try to use a tablet as a second screen, but the lag is often frustrating, and the software setup can be a nightmare. This brings us to a category of technology that has quietly evolved from a niche luxury into a genuine productivity powerhouse, the 15.6-inch portable monitor. Let's get into the tech breakdown. Modern portable monitors have come a long way from the dim, bulky screens of 5 years ago. Most high-quality options you'll find on Amazon today utilize IPS panels. IPS, or in-plane switching, is crucial here because it provides wide viewing angles and accurate color reproduction. This means you don't have to look at the screen perfectly straight on to see your work clearly, a lifesaver when you're working in a cramped airplane seat or a busy cafe. But the real magic lies in the connectivity. We are finally in the era of the one-cable setup. Thanks to USB-C technology, specifically DisplayPort Alt Mode, a single cable handles both the video signal and the power. Your laptop sends the image to the monitor while simultaneously feeding it electricity. No bulky power bricks, no HDMI cables, and no clutter. These devices are incredibly thin, often measuring less than half an inch, and they weigh about 1.5 to 2 pounds. That is roughly the same as a standard tablet, meaning it slides into your laptop sleeve without adding any noticeable bulk to your bag. Now let's talk about the life upgrade. Imagine you're at a local coffee shop. Usually you'd be struggling to fit your notes and your writing software on one screen. But with a portable monitor, you can have your research, your sources, or your Slack channel open on one side while your main work remains front and center. For students, this is a game changer. You can have a digital textbook or a lecture video open on the portable screen while you take notes on your laptop. For programmers, it means having your code on one screen and the live preview or documentation on the other. Let's try a 30-second setup challenge. I pull the monitor out of my bag, flip open the integrated magnetic cover which doubles as a stand, and plug in one USB-C cable. In less than 10 seconds, my workspace has doubled. I'm not stuck in a window management loop anymore. I'm just working. The experience feels premium because it removes the friction of travel. It's the difference between feeling like you're making do with a mobile setup and feeling like you've brought your entire office with you. Even for families, this tech has a place. You can plug a gaming console or a smartphone into these monitors to keep the kids entertained in the back of the car or a hotel room without hogging the main TV. However, no piece of tech is perfect, so let's look at the pros and cons. On the plus side, the portability is unmatched. The plug-and-play nature means there are no drivers to install and no complicated software to configure, it just works. The screen quality on the mid to high-end Amazon models is surprisingly sharp, often hitting full 1080p resolution with decent brightness levels. But there are trade-offs. The biggest one is battery drain. Since the monitor is drawing power directly from your laptop, you will notice your laptop's battery percentage dropping significantly faster, sometimes up to 30% faster, depending on your brightness settings. Another downside is the brightness itself. While these screens are great for indoor use, they often struggle in direct sunlight. If you're planning to work on a sunny patio, the glare might be a deal breaker. Lastly, while the built-in speakers are a nice addition, they are usually tinny and lack any real depth, so don't expect them to replace your headphones. So, is it worth the money? If you look at a standard 24-inch desktop monitor, you can find one for about $100. A high-quality portable monitor usually runs between $160 to $250. You are paying a premium for the form factor, but when you look at the return on investment through the lens of productivity, the math changes. If doubling your screen space saves you just 15 minutes of frustrated tab switching a day, you're gaining back over 60 hours of productive time a year. For a freelancer or a student, that time is worth far more than the initial cost of the device. If you are someone who only works from a dedicated desk, this might be an unnecessary expense, but for the digital nomad, the hybrid worker, or the student who lives in the library, the value is undeniable. Before you hit that buy now button, there is a hidden catch you need to be aware of: compatibility. Not all USB-C ports are created equal. Just because your laptop has a USB-C port does not mean it supports video output. You need to ensure your laptop supports DisplayPort Alt Mode or Thunderbolt 3 or 4. If you have an older laptop that only uses USB-C for charging or data transfer, you'll be forced to use an HDMI to mini HDMI cable and a separate USB cable for power, which completely defeats the one cable simplicity we talked about. Always check your laptop specs first. If your port has a little lightning bolt icon or a D-shaped icon next to it, you're likely good to go. If not, you might find yourself in a mess of extra adapters. Looking at the Amazon rating snapshot, these devices consistently sit in the 4.4 to 4.6 star range. The most common praise is for the life-changing nature of the extra screen, while the most common complaints stem from people who didn't check their port compatibility before buying. My final verdict: this is a solid 9 out of 10. It solves a genuine universal problem, the lack of space, without introducing unnecessary complexity. It's a tool that actually makes you better at what you do. If you find yourself constantly wishing for more room to breathe on your digital desktop, this is the most practical upgrade you can buy right now. In our next episode, we're shifting from digital clarity to environmental clarity. We'll be looking at the truth about smart air purifiers. Are they actually cleaning the air in your home, or are they just expensive fans with fancy apps? We'll put the latest HEPA H13 filters to the test to see if they can really solve the problem of indoor pollutants and seasonal allergies. You won't want to miss the smoke box test. It's a visual eye-opener. I'll see you in the next one.